Let's look at how to set up a project in Atom. These will be the first steps you would take for most websites and web apps that you're coding here. So you just open up Atom. You might see some welcome windows and instructions on the top. You can close all of those so that you just have this nice blank canvas to work on. And we are going to create a folder that is going to hold all of our project files. There are two ways to do this, either by going up under the File menu and choosing New Folder, or by just clicking this button over here to create a new folder. That'll pull up a window in which you can choose your location. So I'm going to put mine inside of Google Drive and get to the correct location where I'd like to put it. You right-click anywhere in the white space between your folders and choose New Folder. For this project, I'm going to name my folder Portfolio because I'm creating a portfolio. You normally name this according to whatever project you're creating. Then to finish up, we just click Select Folder, and we should see the folder appear in our files list in our project. So we are going to create several files in this folder. I'm going to right-click on the folder, and I'm going to choose New File. This will open up a box to name your file. The first one will be our HTML file. A good practice is to name it index. That will be the first file that a server looks for when you go to a web address. And then I'm going to say .html to let the program know that it's an HTML file. So altogether, index.html. Then I just hit Enter to confirm. And if we look in our portfolio folder, we now have this file, the HTML file. Great, we're going to need two more. So again, right-click on the folder. Make sure you're not clicking on the file now that you've created. New file. Let's create our CSS file, our style sheet. So I'm just going to name it main.css because that's a good practice. You might have several CSS sheets in a big website. This will be our main one. And then I hit Enter, and I should have myself a CSS file right next to my HTML file. I need one more file, so let's do that again. Right-click, New File, and this one we're going to make a JavaScript file. We'll name it main again, main.js, and since they have different extensions, this one's .js, it's okay to have the two things named the same here. Finally, the one last piece that we normally would have in a website would be a separate folder to hold all of your pictures and that sort of thing. So it's a little bit different this time. Watch closely. I'm going to right-click on the folder, but instead of saying New File, I'm going to say New Folder. In my folder, I will just name Images because that's where I'm going to put my pictures. We don't need to add an extension, no dot anything, because it's a folder name, and hit Enter. And now we have, you can see this is a folder as opposed to all these file types. And we can open and close our main folder to access them. Perfect. Let's get some of the initial code, the starting stuff you would always have in your website. We're going to go to our index.html file. If you don't see it, you can open it in the side menu. And some of the things you always want to have in your web page are as follows. Let us open up a tag, and we're going to just tell any computer reading this file what type of file it is. So doctype HTML is just telling it this is an HTML5 file. Make sure you've got the exclamation mark. Make sure you've capitalized doctype all the way. And we're just going to put that on the top. We don't have to close this tag. Next, we're going to open and close the HTML tag. This is kind of a formality. Most websites will still work without this, but we're just saying to the computer, everything within these two tags is going to be the HTML that makes up our website. So inside of the HTML tags, between the two of them now, we're going to want a head and a body. The head's going to contain just information about the page. So let's open a head tag, and before we forget, let's close a head tag. Later on, we'll put things between the two of these. I'm going to space that in. Instead of having that tab there, I'm going to keep those on the same level. And nothing in the head tag for now. Let's just go down below the head tag, below the closing Let's just go down below the closing head tag, and let's open and close a body tag and line them up. So again, this area is going to contain all the website that the users will see between the body tags. And later on we'll put things in the header tags, we'll put things in the body tags, and we'll build a website. But this is the basic stuff you're going to start each website with.